I just told these guys we're getting in a little bit of fool's gold where we're just coming out and seeing if we were going to win without having to really exert ourselves. And when that doesn't happen, then they start to turn it into high gear. And we just got to have a little bit more intensity coming out the gate, and especially defensively. I thought defensively the first 5 minutes was bad, and they scored, and then they get into a rhythm. Then it's hard to cut them off. They're an NBA team, good NBA team. They're good offensive players, and we're risking a little bit. We just got to change our mentality.
You've touched on this before, but how has Steve Nash's role kind of evolved during this time?
Well, he's, like I said, he's one of probably the best shooters in history, and he's playing a little bit off the ball. Kobe does some unbelievable things, and when he has the ball in his hands, and again, Steve already have the night 22, and it's going to be that way a little bit. And at the same time, he'll get into pick and rolls and stuff. But right now, Kobe is orchestrating a lot of stuff, and Steve's okay with it.
How difficult is it for not just for Steve, but anybody to be in the rhythm of things and stay prepared for when that shot?
Right, you're right. It's not easy, and but if anybody can do it, he can do it, and he'll accept anything as long as which means to win, and that's what makes him so great. That's why he was great. He has a great career. We need to get better, obviously, in a lot of things, but yeah, to me, it was mostly defensive intensity. We have periods where we're just not real sharp, and we got to get better at that.
Coach, can you talk about the intensity? You guys now have moved up with Utah losing tonight, and that gave you guys a great advantage. And now the intensity of coming back and winning this one. Talk about that as far as now climbing into the playoff picture.
Well, we could have easily lost both these games, and then we'd be in a bigger hole than we are now, obviously. But we just got to keep plugging away. And Sunday at 12:30 is not going to be easy. They got to get their energy back and start the game a little bit better. But we do have some weapons that are dangerous going down the stretch. It's hard to guard us. And we got guys that know how to play a little bit and make big shots. I mean, Kobe's shots tonight that's ridiculous. That's unbelievable. I'm glad I'm on this side instead of the other side. It's usually the other side. But we can be very dangerous. But at the same time, we could be really good if we get our collective energies and get the pile back. And that's kind of the last piece that we need.
Why do you guys think you're struggling so much behind Dwight? And you could tell he was very frustrated with a lot of the help and the lack of.
Well, it's a little bit of everybody. If you watch, he gets frustrated because he's pointing it out. But if you watch the other teams, it's the same thing. You have players on the floor, they're out the three-point line. The game's changed. And you get guys coming to the ring, he goes, helps. Well, that guy way out there is hard to get back. Now, we try and we'll talk, and there's sometimes you just can't get there. And it happens. But, see, all that stuff wouldn't matter if you're up 15 and you had the right necessary mentality, I thought, to start the game. There are times that, they put you in a position where you can't guard it, and they will score. But if you come out and get into people and you play the energy the whole game, then they won't score enough to beat you. And that's the only thing.
But do you consider that to be a sort of a weakness that still is in your defense in terms of helping?
Well,
so to speak?
we could get better at it, but I want to see the film before I make I don't know the exact situation, but, a lot of times, like Ryan Anderson, you're standing out with Ryan Anderson, and here he goes. All right, do I leave him and I go away help, and I know they kick it out for a three, or do or does Dwight have to gobble that up? And it's tough, and we're trying. I think the guys are trying. They see it. Sometimes they just can't get there.
What Kobe has done these past two games, 42 points, 12 assists. Can you
Yeah, if he had one more turnover, he had a triple, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you just put in words that basically in the second half when you guys need something and what he's been able to do to.
Well, his shots at the end of the game, that's ridiculous. I mean, I don't think there's anybody on the planet can do that. And he's done it constantly for 17 years, and that's why he's up there with the greatest. So you got to, and I thought Nash hit a big. Well, I didn't think he did hit a big shot in overtime, and again, everything's good, looks good, a lot of good stuff, but we got to be tougher mentally coming out of the shoot. All right, thanks, guys.